Hey guys, sorry it took so long to get to my next video. Life's busy. I'm in school. I work part-time. I do stuff. So it took me a little longer than what I wanted to start this. Plus the emotional ride. It's always a hard thing to talk about. But here's my meth story, guys. Left my wife in 2019. If you watched my previous video, you know I struggled with a severe opiate addiction during that time, snorting 2 or 3 hydros for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's a very expensive habit. After I left my wife, um, my boss got word that I was embezzling money from Pizza Hut. Addiction's rough on your mind. Embezzling money from pizza, trading pizza for pills, Um, Drug addicts need to eat too. Drug dealers need to eat. So my boss comes in and I just finished my breakfast in the bathroom of 2 or 3 hydros. I walk out the door. She's standing right there with the head of HR. Uh, they wanted to go drug test me. I tried to escape my way out of it and lie and manipulate. But at the end of the day, I was doing wrong shit. So I had everything that I had coming to me. I was really offended at the time, though, that they would treat such a decorated. You see my trophy there. There's more on this wall. Such a decorated and respected manager treat me like a common thief, in which I was. I was a drug addicted thief. Um, so I lost my job. Then I had a really severe pill addiction that I had to feed, and I couldn't afford it. Pills are expensive. Um, Shortly after losing my job, I did find the love of my life. There's a bright, shining hope there. I found the most beautiful woman I ever seen. We fell in love. She also was struggling with addiction, just out of a long-term marriage. Just left her husband. Uh, my life here was getting very chaotic and messy. I had this horrible addiction, this hole inside of me I'm trying to fill. I didn't know how to deal with all those feelings since I was a child, and now I don't have anything to stuff them down with or to numb my emotions. So I started going to Nevada to visit my girlfriend, and I started shooting meth. I haven't done meth since I was in high school. I avoided that and just stuck to pills, but um, I started shooting meth, and to continue that addiction, to continue numbing the pain inside me, I left my family home, the home you see behind me, my 4 kids. I left everything to go shoot meth in Nevada. Sorry, guys. I love you, kids. I'm back. I'm back, though. I'm back. Um, when you first start doing any drug, there's seems like there's no negative consequences to it. Everything was great. We'd get high. We'd fuck for hours. There seemed to be no downside. And very shortly after starting it, though, and leaving all this to go to Nevada and losing everything here, um, everything started falling apart there. Keisha was just coming off of a really heavy Xanax addiction, and then switching straight from that to the meth really had a negative impact on her mind. She started getting delusional really soon on, believing that I killed her kids and buried them in the front yard, and then her children that were living in the home with us, were imposters, and we were there to take over her family, which is a pretty common delusion on meth, really. I've heard that from several women, thinking that their family are imposters, or people have taken over, trying to take over their family. That's part of the ugliness of that drug. While that's going on, though, I'm still okay. I'm still handling my shit the best I can. She'd make frequent trips in and out of the 3rd floor of the psychiatric unit on the hospital, to go clear her mind. And while she's doing that, I'm out there banging dope and whores all I can. As more time went on, I developed a sexual psychosis, which frequently happens with meth addicts, namely shooters, but all meth addicts. Um, and it got to the point where I would just be in the bathroom shooting up for hours by myself, jacking off, dick in one hand, needle in my arm, backed up to a dildo with my phone, simultaneously recording under the bathroom door to make sure Keisha didn't sneak out of the 3rd floor of jail, wherever she was at that time, many times. Make sure she didn't sneak out and was fucking somebody in the other room across from me. As illogical and irrational as that sounds. My dog's dreaming back there. Oh, scary dream. Um, as irrational as that sounds, I believed it. And if you believe something, you're going to act on it. So I'd be stuck in the bathroom for hours like that, too paranoid and too stuck in the sexual psychosis to even be able to leave the bathroom. Um, it really fucks people up. I've always been bisexual, but doing meth almost made me gay. It got to the point where, so I wrote notes so I could keep track, so I stay on track here. It almost turned me gay. It got to the point where I was fantasizing about only men, you know, especially trannies. For some reason, something about the meth makes people lean towards that world. I don't understand why it does that exactly, but it does. A lot of people I've talked to, they have that same experience, and they don't want to talk about it publicly on YouTube. They don't want to do that. They don't want to say it in a room full of people. But whenever I'm one-on-one with other shooters and other meth addicts, they say that, Derek, you're right. Derek, I don't know why it does that to me. It's not who I am. Because that's who you are on meth. That's why it makes you a sexual monster. It gives you a sexual psychosis. Um, so with all that going on, Keisha wound up in drug court, losing her kids, and then she had to go to drug court. I'm still banging dope as they're trying to keep her clean. You know, it's hard for her to stay clean when I'm in the bathroom in the other room for 3 hours swearing I'm not shooting dope, covered in lotion and baby oil, can't even open a door. You know, you lose your sense of self whenever you're doing that. You lose who you really are, and you just become this meth monster. Um, they had her going to community service and had her going to different groups. Um, she got really ill from COVID, January of 22. She actually got it from me. There's some of my accountability. She was in jail when I got it. Um, so when she got out, we both figured she's going to get it anyways. What's it matter? Um, and then her being a carrier muscular dystrophy, it affected her substantially worse than it did me and most other healthy 37, 36-year-olds, whatever age we were then. I don't know. Don't make me do the math, guys. Fuck, come on. Um, so it affected her lungs really bad. She developed a bad cough. The doctors, they were very uncertain about everything and COVID's long-term effects and the way it affects the body at that point. So they told us it was just asthma related from long COVID. So she had this really bad cough, and you know, I'm still banging dope. She's still trying to, while still trying to navigate being clean. And you can't stay clean when you're with a needle junkie. It's impossible. And I wasn't trying to clean up. You know, we'd get into fist fights over it. You know, I'm high as hell, swearing I'm not, and she's wanting to do a shot, and I swear I don't have any. I swear I'm not on it, and I mean, it turned violent. You know, until it's like, okay, fuck it, let's get high, and then we fight all night anyways, because that's what happens. Whenever you do it so much, it makes you turn against the people that you're closest to. We do a shot and then we fight all night about each other fucking other people. I mean, that's the meth world. You're in a sexual psychosis. As soon as I do a shot, I'm like, something's gotta get fucked. Such an ugly, disgusting time in my life, you know. Keisha was a 10. She's the most beautiful girl. Here's a picture of my crap. Not my crap. There we go. Terrible glare. That's us. Most beautiful woman. I'm out there banging ones and zeros. Cheating on her with ones and zeros. I go do a shot and bang the first dope where I get my hands on. It's terrible. Such a horrible thing I did to her. We were both toxic for each other. Anybody's toxic if they're on meth and they're in your life. They're not a good person. That's the reality of it. No matter how good they might have been before, it takes so much good away from them. But she got sick with COVID, and it just slowly progressed until in mid-December she got pneumonia really bad of 22. Shortly after we got sober, I'm skipping around, sorry, I'm not even following my notes. So she got clean August of, what is that, August 29th of 22, I can't even read my own fucking notes. She got clean August 29th. I was still shooting. I didn't have a reason to get clean. Why should I? If she's the one in drug court, she's the one that goes to jail. If she doesn't get clean, I have no reason. I mean, hell, that's the only reason I felt good. That's the only time I was getting serotonin or dopamine. So, I remember September 30th, I dropped her off at one of her Compass groups, her therapy groups. She's sober, been sober for a month. I drop her off there, and September 30th is my youngest daughter's birthday. I was feeling bummed out about it, and when I feel bad, I want to stuff my feelings down with drugs. So I called one of the low lifes in Nevada. He offered me the most minuscule amount of meth for a ride across town, which I was happy to do it. Took him, did the shot. I didn't even get a rush. I got high, but I didn't get the rush I was looking for. As soon as I went to pick up Keisha, she knew. She could see it in my eyes. She looked at me and she's like, "You think that's going to help you see your kid, Derek? It's her birthday. You think that's going to help you talk to her? You think she wants to talk to you like that?" And that really hit me hard. That stuck with me. The way she looked at me with the disappointment and the hurt and the pain in her eyes for me. I quit shooting that day. That was the last time I did a shot, September 30th, 22. And then a couple months go by. Her asthma is getting worse and worse. We're trying to stay clean. We are staying clean together. It's some of the best times of my life. Things were the best when they were good with her. Without the meth, things were good quite often. With the meth involved, things were bad, and they were the worst when we were on meth. So we're just, trying to enjoy life, and she keeps getting sicker and sicker. In December, she got sick with pneumonia, wound up in the hospital, and her lungs had been damaged by COVID, and the pneumonia is so bad, she was sent home on oxygen. She was still doing the community service, taking her oxygen tanks with her, doing community service. What a tough fucking chick, man. Going to Compass groups with her little oxygen tank in her backpack, and the whole time she's saying how hard it is for her to do this, telling the people up at Compass and drug court, and they're calling her bullshit. They think she's lying, just making it up or over exaggerating it. And I understand. I'm not here to bash you guys, okay? I understand. Drug addicts have been lying and cheating the system this whole time. That's what they do. I understand that. So I'm not trying to bash you guys, but they finally gave her a sick leave in the middle of January, because they could just see that she was not able to physically do the simple community service. She was barely able to do the stuff she needed to do at home to take care of herself. I had to cook all the meals. I happily did that. I brought the food to her, washed the dishes. I was also taking care of my grandma and uncle too, I was happy to do it. Anything to be with the love of my life. So that was mid-January. January 27th, she didn't have the energy or the air to get out of bed. She tried to stand up and run out of oxygen and almost pass out. So we called the ambulance. They came and got her. They took her to Nevada. Nevada immediately transferred her to Joplin, where there was a bed. So I drive up to Joplin. We're up there for a couple days, and the doctors aren't really clear about what's going on. They're telling us how severe her lung damage is, but they're not being clear about the true gravity of the situation. So I leave on the early in the day on the 29th to go back home to get a change of clothes and to get cleaned up. I've been at the hospital for several days with no clothes or anything. As I'm on my way to Nevada, she messages me and says the doctor come in and said that she's going to die within 24 hours, that I needed to get back up to the hospital. So I turned around. I'm doing 160 on the highway. I fly back up to the hospital, and then me and her are talking. She looks at me in the eyes and she says, "Derek, my chest hurts really bad, but I don't feel like I'm dying. I feel okay." Such a hard thing, she was so young still. Sorry. And within 24 hours, her lungs could not support her life anymore. They gave her fentanyl to help her ease the pain. She was in crippling pain. I mean, her lungs are dying, and then her body's closely following suit. So January 30th, or sorry, January 29th, at the end of the day, her mom come down. Um, the doctors told us that the only thing keeping her alive is the machines. So whenever we're ready and we've said our goodbyes, let them know, and they'll give her an enormous shot of fentanyl and take her off the machines. That way she can go peacefully. And I love her mom. Her mom did not handle the situation well, as you can imagine, so I had to be the one to take control there and get the doctor and let him know what needed, that we were all ready. And they pulled her off life support that day, or off the oxygen machine, and watched her life slip away. I've never felt so much physical pain from an emotional trauma in my life. I could physically feel the hurt. That was such a hard day. Fuck, that was such a hard day. And I remember we spent all night in the hospital trying to make the arrangements, and there was some of Keisha's family, not a lot of them, just a couple. People are, they care until, well, they don't care, what am I saying? But getting ready to leave the hospital, I go out in my truck and I break down. I cried harder than I've ever cried. I felt the physical pain worse than I've ever felt from trauma. I've never felt anything like that. And keep in mind, she was sober 4 months. I was sober 3 months when that happened. Then shortly after she passed away, maybe a month and a half, I was so lost and confused, so desperate. I relapsed on meth. Now, I didn't shoot it because I was terrified of the needle. If my mind would take me to the place of her believing she would sneak out of jail, sneak into the bedroom and be fucking somebody in the next room for whatever reason, while I'm in there jacking off, fucking myself, banging dope. What would happen if I did a shot and believed that now that she's passed away? What would that do to my mind, my consciousness? That would cripple me. So I was terrified of shooting, so I'd snort it, smoke it, boof it. It's just a shot up the butt. It's just where you mix it up in water and then you squirt the liquid up there. It's the closest thing to a shot. But meth still has negative effects on your mind. I'd be going through her phone months after she passed away. I'm going through her phone looking for evidence of her cheating on me. What a sick behavior. What a disgusting act. And I could feel it. I knew what I was doing, and I knew how fucked up that was, and I could not stop it all night. I'd be scrolling through the phone all night, just trying to find evidence of that for some reason. That's how bad the meth really is on your mind. So after that, I was desperate. I didn't know what to do. I thought more about suicide then than I have my whole life. And then I ran into some psychedelic mushrooms, and I ate 9 grams on my way to the tattoo guy's house. Thank God, I stopped to smoke some meth. As bad as that sounds, thank God I did that, because as I stop at my friend's house to do some meth, I look down and I see my orange lighter starts glowing really bright, and looks awful pretty, and I'm like, oh, I think I'm starting to feel the... And I got knocked out of my body. For those of you who watched my mushroom trip. That was a hard ride, and I got way too fucked up. Then I go inside and I'm trying to smoke meth, to come down a little bit, which only heightens the paranoia. And I believed that the people's house I was at had been feeding me psychedelics for many, many years, because you lose your sense of time, you lose your internal clock when you're on psychedelics. So I thought they were feeding me psychedelics for years, and my kids were grown and I was some kind of prisoner. So I'm trying to get out of the house, and they're all acting like tweakers. They're over there sharpening knives. Shing, I gotta make sure my knives are sharp. And I'm on the bed as it's rocking, and I'm like, what the hell is going on in this place? And then I knocked out of my body, because it comes in waves. If you watch my previous videos, which I hope you have, then the waves keep hitting me. I'm trying to get out to my truck, and my body's running around, and I can't even see anything. It's a wall of orange, Then I'm out of my body. And I come back, and I'm going to get the hell out of this place. And I get up, and I run around, try to get to the truck, and then I'm out. I gotta get the hell out of this place or feed me psychedelics. And I try to get to the truck. Crazy. Not the most therapeutic way to do mushrooms, people. Remember that. Um, After that, though, I really knew that there was something to these mushroom trips. I just wasn't doing it right, and I hadn't discovered it yet. Um, and then after a little while, I keep doing much smaller doses of mushrooms. I did not want to take a ride like that again. Um, and then that's when I discovered some DMT. I finally acquired some. I had it for about a month. Had it tucked back. I knew it was going to change me. I knew it was such a powerful thing. Listening to my man Joe Rogan, my man, talking about it, and all the different things I've read about it. I knew it was going to change me, and I really wasn't ready for that. And I wasn't ready for what that would entail. So about a month of keeping it on me, I still doing meth. Last day I did my last bit of meth. Then I took a little bit of shrooms. I come down from the shrooms and I'm feeling desperate and I just want to get fucked up on something. And I did DMT for the first time, and that was the first time I did DMT was the last time I ever did meth. It changed the way I felt inside about it. Gave me a different perspective on all drugs, really. So the therapeutic uses are there. It's just if you do it right. After that, after getting sober from meth, I started researching more about the mushrooms and how to do them in a therapeutic setting and how to have a safe and rewarding trip out of them instead of having some kind of meth-fueled, paranoid, bad trip. That's what a bad trip is. People are always worried about having a bad trip. Not if you're not on your way to the dope man's or tattoo guy's house and you stop at the dope man's. That's a bad trip. If you're doing it in your room where it's just you and your trip sitter, it's going to be a good trip. It's going to be a rewarding trip. So, after a long while of researching the mushrooms and all that, I finally figured out how to do them therapeutically. Now, I do heavier trips, and they do, whenever they're doing therapy, they only do, let's just research this, they do 2/100ths of a gram. That's such a minuscule amount. I did 9 grams in that video, guys. 9 fucking grams. That's why I got sick, But that's also how I healed all my pain and how I'm sober now and how I stay sober, is integrating those experiences into my everyday life. It's just like any other spiritual experience, because that's what they do. It's the elevator to your spirit. So instead of me just taking that experience and walking away from it, being like, that was neat, I integrate that into my everyday life. I use that as a tool to guide me and show me how I'm supposed to live and how I should feel and how to maintain that. Which is why I eat healthy, I work out every day. There's protocols I do every single day to keep me sober. It's very important. I've used floods of dopamine produced by chemicals my entire life to stuff my feelings down and to feel happiness in any moment. We gotta get fucked up before we go do this. We gotta get fucked up before we go do that. My kids got a concert, I better get fucked up first so I can enjoy it the best I can. I didn't realize that was actually diminishing my ability to enjoy life. I was just stuffing feelings down. But now at this point in my life, I need all the natural endorphin release chemicals I can get. Exercising is a great way to do that. The runner's high, that's just the endorphins being released, which is released through physical exertion of force. You work out hard enough, you're going to feel a buzz from it, and that's an important thing for any addict, because you go into a state of anhedonia whenever you quit doing drugs, even marijuana, which I'm gonna bitch about marijuana here in a minute. And that's just where there's a loss of joy in life. Nothing funny. Movies suck, sex sucks, food sucks, showers suck, sleep sucks, everything sucks. And it takes a while to get over that. Takes the chemicals in your brain leveling out after addiction for you to feel the joy of life again, which is why a lot of people relapse, which is why marijuana Sorry, everybody. Which is why marijuana is such a dangerous thing and a recipe for relapse. Because if you're getting stoned all day, you're not processing feelings properly. You're numbing yourself to what you should actually be feeling in the world. Um, I know when I smoked weed, I quit a month and a week ago. Um, I know when I smoked weed, it managed down my expectations for myself and from other people and allowed me to tolerate behavior I would never tolerate. Here's an example, guys. So let's say you and your boyfriend are fighting, or you and your girl, your significant other, and they call you a bad name. You know, you get stoned after the fight, and it's better. Okay, it's better. We made up because we got stoned. It's okay. It's okay. Next week, same thing, only it's two bad names. You're stressed out, your emotions are high, you get stoned. That way you can not have to feel those emotions. But it's okay now. It's okay, we're stoned. We're laughing, okay, it's cool now. Next month he hits you. They hit you. But you get stoned, so you tolerate that behavior. Instead of you feeling the emotions you're supposed to feel in situations, you get stoned to dull those feelings and emotions. And now you're not reacting to those situations in the way you should and not doing what you should. Like getting the hell away from toxic people. But you're so busy being stoned, dulling down your emotional reactions and responses that you can't manage your life anymore. That you've allowed somebody to mistreat you for 13 years, you know? Now, I'm not saying there's not therapeutic uses to that. I'm just saying the reality of it is, people, the reality of it is a drug, it is a medicine, and like any drug or medicine, you should use it in a therapeutic setting, and it should be used as such. You know, I smoked pot for 25 years, and I've never felt better after getting that marijuana fog out of my mind where I can't think, and all I want to do is get stoned. I don't like having control of my emotions, and after having a long day and thinking, fuck, I really need to get stoned, I shouldn't have to rely on that to get through the day just because I'm stressed out. But it's not me relying on that to get through the day, that's the addiction talking to you. So when you people are saying, well, I have to get stoned or people are gonna die, it's because you're a fucking addict. That's why people are gonna die if you don't get stoned, dummy. Jesus Christ, people, grow up. But that's the only arguments I hear from people. You know, there are some physical therapeutic effects, don't get me wrong, but 90% of the people I'm speaking to, they cannot handle life without getting stoned because they're an addict. And yes, you can get addicted to marijuana. Quit smoking. Try that. Quit smoking for a week and see how great life feels. It'll feel like crap and you'll go into a state of anhedonia where everything sucks because you're an addict. If you want to get sober from meth, you got to clean up your act, or else you're not going to stay sober. You know, that's the reality of it. I've learned all these through hard fucking life lessons, through all this research I've been doing, not just here in my own personal life and things I've learned, but I've researched this because my mission is to help people, to help you guys. I love you guys. You know, we can get through this. You can get through this. You can get through addiction. After my last mushroom trip, I'm not taking another one of those. That's a hard fucking ride. A lot of people ask me, so how often do you have to do mushrooms to stay sober? Once. If you integrate it and you have a proper trip sitter who can walk you through the experience and then show you how to integrate that once is all you need. You don't need to do Suboxone every fucking day, you know, because if you're putting a substance in your body, you're not clean. I don't care what the doctors tell you, what the professionals tell you. If you're physically addicted to it, you're not clean. Heroin user, sorry, you're on Suboxone, you're not clean, bro. It's like doing morphine and saying, I'm clean because I only do hydrocodones. Yeah, stupid. It fucking sounds stupid when I say it that way, doesn't it? But it's the way they market the drug and sell it to us. And then, of course, the drug addicts are going to use any excuse they can to keep getting fucked up. Of course we are. I've been talking for 30 minutes, crap. I've noticed you guys only watch like 4 minutes of my videos. So I don't know, I got to cut these down a little bit, I guess. But I just wanted to share the brief story, my meth story, and how I wound up doing mushrooms live on YouTube, you know, to show you guys there's therapy in it. Show you guys it's more than just eating them and running around. There's a whole different way to do that. So you can help yourself, so you can live sober, so you can heal your pain. Because that's how you got to get sober, people. It starts in here. You can change everything, but if you don't change the way you feel, nothing's going to change anywhere else. That's the reality of it. By the way, love the new sign. Thank you, Dylan. Dylan, baby Dylan. Thank you, guys. I love y'all. I love everybody. Be kind to each other out there. Life's short. Fuck, life's so short. Sorry, Keisha. I love you. Till next time, guys.